Right, we should be live on all streaming sites, maybe, possibly.
I just tweeted our Twitch link. So,
all right, cool. All right, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the One Take Podcast, episode 83. Like I said, our Wes Welker episode. Etta just said, hopefully less brain damage. So coming in hot on a Tuesday night. We cannot promise that. But the important part is that we are joined again by Etta from Sour Grapes Pod for the first time since Christmas.
Woo.
Yeah, it's been a minute. What a strange year.
But
welcome to 2021 on the One Take Pod.
I got to see both of y'all though in like the last 10 days. So that was fun.
First time ever.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Amy went up to my fiance and was like, do you know who Taylor Ham is? And she was like, absolutely not. I have no idea who you're talking about. She's like, it's okay. It's okay. He's much more attractive. My fiance's like, thanks. Like, yeah. Caitlin was so confused. Anyway.
We love her. She's our very own little crazy person.
But yeah, so we are, let's just say we're joined by the less crazy of the Sour Grapes Pod. Can we say that?
I'm
different
crazy. I'm crazy in a different way.
Oh, okay. Well, crazy enough to have Legally Blonde posters behind you, which is the movie that we're actually doing tonight. You have 2 Legally Blonde posters behind you.
I do. And they're French.
Oh.
They're like French new wave style posters. So I think it says like unfilm.
So we needed all things considered, just to pull the curtain back. We needed a woman to do this podcast. Otherwise, like, it's just like 3 dudes being like, so Reese Witherspoon, right? But, and then now we have like the consummate Legally Blonde professional. Like you are just the one. You're just the one that we needed.
Yeah, Dex definitely lucked out in randomly texting me.
I texted her like 12 hours ago, just like, hey, do you want to talk about Legally Blonde tonight?
Boy, do I.
Yeah.
Dex, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. This movie is a good time. It's so much more fun than the last movie that we had to watch.
It is a blast, man. And it is a quick blast too at that. We're going to be joined by Teach here in just a little bit because his computer is dumb and bad and didn't work. So we're going to get Teach in here in a little bit. But first, let's get straight into Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde came out in 2001. So this is peak Etta high school times.
It is.
It's thriving right now.
Y'all were all born then, right? Hopefully.
I was 6.
Oh, gosh.
6 years old. Chilling in first grade. Shout out to Mrs. Davy.
Gonna keep drinking.
Legally Blonde came out in 2001's PG-13. It is a brisk hour and 36 minutes, even shorter than that, actually, when you count credits. Has a 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
Disrespectful.
Considering this is probably her most popular role, honestly. Yeah, that seems a little low for people. I feel like this would have a cult following where people would be like 8.5 out of 10. Elle Woods, a fashionable sorority queen, is dumped by her boyfriend. She decides to follow him to law school. While she is there, she figures out that there is more to her than just looks. It is directed by Robert Luketic. I don't know what else he's done. Writer is Amanda Brown. This is based on a novel, actually, but written by Karen McCullough and Kristen Smith. Stars Reese Witherspoon, Luke Wilson, Selma Blair. Matthew Davis is Warner. Jennifer Coolidge is just Jennifer Coolidge again. Victor Garber.
As a
Holland.
jerk.
As a sleaze bag. Ali Lauder. Later? How do you pronounce it? Larder, yeah. And then what's her face's queen? Holland
Sarah
Taylor.
Paulson's queen. The love of Sarah Paulson's life. Holland Taylor. already an old woman.
Yes, she is 60 something in this movie already. Like
She doesn't age though, so it's fine.
Right. Yeah. Just
That's what Sarah Paulson would have you believe.
we're not gonna. We've done our Sarah Paulson bit. You can go find it. I forget what podcast that was, but yikes. Anyway, has you can find this on Netflix, by the way. It has a 59 meta score, has a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes, 72% audience score. Some low audience scores here for this. The material is predictable and formulaic. Reese Witherspoon's funny, nuanced performance makes this movie better than it would have been otherwise, and I actually agree with that. And here is Teach. Look at that. Right on time.
Bum, bum, bum.
Oh, okay. But this movie was a hit. It was a box office success. I think they made it. They made it for $18 million. Most of that, I imagine, went to Reese Witherspoon. $141 million worldwide gross for an hour and 20-minute PG-13 comedy, starring a woman whose career had been doing this for a while. So it's an interesting thing. We can talk about Reese Witherspoon's career. We've talked about it a lot on the show because obviously Dex is in love with her. So am I. But like,
this is true.
But it's been an interesting. I read just her Wikipedia. Somebody who's ever running Reese Witherspoon's Wikipedia is putting in work because it's the longest Wikipedia I've ever seen in my entire life.
It is detailed.
They break down her career in sections. And it's not wrong. So it's interesting look at her career. But all that to say, TG missed out. We have the Legally Blonde professional. If you look behind her, she has 2 Legally Blonde posters behind her.
Oh my God. Nice.
Yeah.
I think we got the right guest. I love it.
So we do have the right guest. Etta, go ahead. Give us a review. Give it a letter grade, please. You said you loved it. We have a dog in the background.
So this movie is fairly formative for me. I saw it when I was still in high school, although I did not see it in the theater. I had friends who said, you have to see this movie because it's you. And
said every white girl in 2001.
Yeah,
no, I'm kidding.
That's probably true. I've always loved this movie. I feel like, if I'm being completely honest, it's not aging as well as I would love it to. I feel like the 6.5 rating is fairly accurate. I love it. It's a fun movie. It's not it's not Chicago. It's not going to win any theatrical awards by any means, but it is delightful and fun. And I think there are aspects to it that are timeless and still a something that we can strive to emulate. So
one thing I will say, it's never going to win any awards, but it is going to win money. That's what this movie is going to make money.
It's going to win money
it's
and
definitely
hearts.
On my I don't feel good. What movie do I want to watch? Legally Blonde is like chicken soup for my cinematic soul.
Awesome.
Nice.
Print the shirt.
So.
Nice.
The thing
What's your
about
letter
this,
grade?
Yeah, letter grade. Sorry. Before I start.
Ooh, I have to give a letter grade.
Yep.
A in my heart, B minus.
Fair enough.
In
B
cinema.
minus in the streets. Yep. No, I remember more of this movie than I care to admit. This one lived in my head rent free, and I was just like, how did I just remember all of these lines? Like and it just turned like every teenage girl in 2001 watched this movie. It was a huge, not only a huge hit in the theater, it was a huge DVD and VHS movie. This thing got play for years.
TNT banger.
Yeah, absolutely. Cable TV banger. And so I just remember it. It was just on in our house because my sister would watch it and it would just be on. So it's like, oh yeah, this brings back memories of like being home and just watching movies and stuff like that. It's that kind of movie for me. But Tej, you just stepped in though. I'm gonna let Dex go after you because I feel like this is Dex suggested this movie and this is in his alley. But Tej, go ahead. What do you, as a lawyer, what do you think of this movie?
Did you wait? So who has, other than Etta, who else has given the grade for this film?
Nobody.
Nobody yet.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am a lawyer, unfortunately. I'll try not to hold that against the film. I've seen this movie, I think, once before, maybe twice before. And it's good. It's got all the charming beats. Reese Witherspoon is just amazing in this role. I love Reese Witherspoon, not the same way that Dex and Royden love her. I'm not like attracted to her, but I just love her. I'll just watch her in anything. I like the way she plays her characters. She's obviously the perfect casting for this kind of role. It was huge for her career, and I'm glad that it gave us a lot of subsequent Reese Witherspoon content because I love her content. She's great. This movie's fine. It's got the same kind of flaws that any other kind of movie in this lane that's obviously made for teenagers might have, but I think it's got enough to make it appeal to older people like it, and not just older people who were teens when it came out. I was in high school when this movie came out, but there were also people who were in law school at that time who were watching this movie over beers with their friends or their girlfriends, and they enjoyed it. So like the movie kind of has more range than you might think it does. Obviously, there are some really there kind of like are no fully fleshed out characters in the movie other than Elle herself. She's kind of the only real character in the movie, and then everybody else is just kind of, they only exist as they relate to Elle, whether they are her ops or her friend or they are her dating interest or her new dating interest. Like they just are all archetypes that she can interact with so that you feel like she lives in a real world. So that obviously is not great, but a lot of these movies are like this, these kind of teeny bopper movies that are kind of charming and message above all kind of movies are all kind of like that. So it's kind of weird to see Elle interact with these like literal archetypes as she goes about the world. But it's funny, it's got laughs. The bit about Elle Woods, like just kind of finding ways to relate like real world law scenarios to like how you perm your hair, for example. It's just good writing. It's like, oh, this character is a sorority girl and she wins this huge murder case and saves somebody's life because she understands that when you perm your hair, you're not supposed to take a shower after. Like that's just good writing. It's stupid, it would never happen, but it's amazing writing. It makes the movie kind of sum up in a little bubble. I enjoy this movie every time I watch it. I'd give it a strong B.
What'd you score on your LSAT?
What is it out of? It's out of 180, isn't it?
Yeah, it's out of.
I gotta look it up.
In this movie, it's out of 180, and I never realized until I just looked at this trivia.
She made like a 179.
She is in 0.1% of people.
Yeah. Trust me, I did not make a 179. I will tell you that. It was not that well. But I found it. The law stuff is a bit tough, but I'm kind of tough on the law stuff in every movie. And the law stuff in this movie isn't more or less bad than the law stuff in any other movie, whether it be a serious movie, whether it be A Few Good Men, which I love, which the law stuff in that movie is way over the top. Everything happening in the courtroom is really weird, but amazing for a movie. There's a point where Elle Woods kind of like does the smoking gun thing where she realizes that the girl couldn't have been telling the truth about her testimony because she was in the shower and she just got a perm. And everybody's like, oh my God. And the judge is like, oh my God. The judge would never do that. Obviously, the judge is like impartial. The judge is not going to. And also, you don't just like make a great point. And the judge is like, never mind, case dismissed.
Yeah, she's going to jail now.
She's going to jail. Charge this person with murder. Like the judge doesn't actually do that stuff. The prosecutor has to pick who's charged with murder. Also, the prosecutor has to say, we are dropping this case. The judge just doesn't unilaterally say that. But obviously, it's good movie magic. They did. There's a sequel to this movie. I realized I was watching this. I've never seen the sequel.
I think there's two sequels to this movie.
There's two?
There is a direct-to-DVD sequel that she produced called Legally Blondes. It's like one of the first movies that she actually, I think she produced Legally Blonde 2 was the first movie she ever produced. But then she produced like a straight-to-DVD like that you'd find in the Walmart bargain bin called
Is
Legally
she in
Blonde.
both of these? Is she in these movies?
She's in 1 and 2. She's not in the last one.
I've never seen the sequel, but
I haven't seen it either. But
I understand why it was made. They made $1 bajillion, and this movie cost basically nothing to make outside of paying Reese Witherspoon, which probably wasn't even a super absorbent amount of money at the time because of where she was in her career. I'm sure she wasn't demanding top dollar, but it worked out.
After this movie for Legally Blonde 2, and I'm reading the Wikipedia, Etta knows what I'm talking about. She started demanding $15 million up front, which made her one of the highest paid actresses for any movie, even though she didn't.
Absolute queen.
Yeah, even though she wasn't making like incredible movies other than like Walk the Line comes 3 years after this. But like other than that, it's like Sweet Home Alabama was kind of a flop, honestly. Like it was.
If I show you once that I have a superpower where all these people are going to come to the box office to just literally see me, it's not like the other characters are fully fleshed out enough to make people want to go see, like, who are they going to see? They're going to see Reese Witherspoon. Once you can do that, you're like, yeah, hell yeah, you can pay me $15 million. You know how much money I made with Legally Blonde?
Yeah, it's like when you're an NBA player, you get paid for what you did, not what they're about to do.
Exactly. You get paid. Like, it doesn't matter that you think I might not be good in the future. Look what I did last year. Pay me for that. Pay me. You want me, then pay me for that. So that's a queen who did her business the correct way. And now look at her. She's unstoppable.
Yeah. Well, actually, Sweet Home Alabama wasn't a commercial flop. It was a critical flop. People loved it, actually.
It's my favorite Reese Witherspoon movie.
I saw you get upset. Yeah.
It's not
That's
bad.
a whole
It's not
other
a bad
podcast.
movie.
So
my favorite Reese Witherspoon movies are all the low balled like critic ones.
I do also really love Election. So
Election is really good.
I have a soft spot in my heart for This Means War, which everyone thinks is terrible, but I'm like, this shit is amazing.
I was thinking This Means War.
The Spy one?
Yeah, it's like Spy versus Spy, but over.
That's an incredible film. Even though it's Chris Pine, who's not very good, that's an incredible film.
I was thinking, that has to be like somewhere in like the 40s, 50s range on Rotten Tomatoes. That thing has a 25% on Rotten Tomatoes. People hated that movie.
They're lying. All those critics are lying. That movie is great. I love it.
Delightful.
All right, Dex, you suggested this movie, and it is good that we did a lighthearted movie after watching 2.5 hours of Django Unchained. But like, this is a complete opposite direction of where we were last week. Go ahead.
Yeah, we got rage. 1 week we're doing Django Unchained. Next week we're doing Legally Blonde. We got the guests for both. We're a well-rounded podcast here at the One Take Pod. Mm-hmm. Very professional operation. Thanks. But yeah, I'm just a big Reese Witherspoon fan. Nothing came out at the movies this week that I really cared about seeing. So I was just scrolling through Netflix, like, what can we do? Reese Witherspoon popped up. I'm in. Obviously I love Reese Witherspoon. I love her movies. I love her as a person. I went and I bought a copy of her book and watched her like talk about it at Magnolia in Waco. Like I am all in.
That feels like, side note, the most Reese Witherspoon thing on the planet. A book deal at Magnolia.
Yeah.
Like that's the most.
She went on a book tour. She like did an interview with like, I think it was one of the Bush daughters at Magnolia.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, it was Jenna.
Weird. Yeah, but it was dope because it's Reese Witherspoon. She's just really, really likable. So we're doing the likable movie star pod. Anyway, this movie is so much fun to watch to this day. Obviously, it's not like, fantastic cinema or whatever that like, I don't know, Roger Ebert is going to sit around and be like 2 thumbs up. Oh my God.
He loved this movie.
Oh, okay.
He actually did.
Good. Roger Ebert
is a man of taste in class.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know. Pick a movie nerd. Fucking Richard Lawson at Vanity Fair or whatever. Actually, he might like this movie a lot too, but whatever. It doesn't matter. It's not a movie nerd movie. It's just a good movie that everyone likes when they watch it because Reese Witherspoon is amazing and hilarious. All the side characters have their little funny moments, even the dumb sorority girls, which, maybe you'd have to do a different trope for that in 2021, but even still to this day, it's still funny that these just idiot sorority girls are showing up to the courtroom like, oh my God, we can't even watch a trial.
Vote for L.
There's a real judge and everything.
There's
a
judge and a jury.
This shit is just funny. Anytime that a man is talking, this movie gets much, much worse. But whenever women are talking,
I'm fine with that.
It's hilarious.
I'm fine.
Like all the male characters just fucking garbage. Like the ex-boyfriend, he's sucks. The like law assistant, new boyfriend, really weird situation. Didn't enjoy that. Obviously, like the creepy handsy lawyer is awful. Every man in this movie sucks, except kind of the stupid one who's like a nerd and doesn't get any girls. But
The dude doing his best Will Ferrell in 2001 impression.
yeah, that guy. But
He's doing his best Will Ferrell impression from SNL.
But yeah, this movie is just delightful to watch. It's an hour and a half. You can't go wrong with, just a fun movie that's an hour and a half long. Get in, get out. It's what Netflix was made for. I got to give it an A. It's just a good time. Classic. Can't go wrong.
I mean, this movie is a damn breeze to get through. It is. Yeah. It is so easy, and it's just like because the most time that it takes is setting up Warner breaking up with her. That's like the most time that it takes. By the time that Warner breaks up with her to the time that they finish the final case, it is boom, 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 all the way down the line. And there's not really that much, like there's certain set pieces where she gets embarrassed in like the bunny, the Playboy outfit at the party, or there's like, a couple of times when she tries to go get here's the one, the bend and snap moment doesn't make any sense. Like I almost deduct points for that. That's like a completely different movie. Like, I don't know what it was like. All right, let's put the most 1990s 2000 thing in this movie because we just got to fill time. Otherwise, this is only like an hour and 15.
You have to set up the comedic moment where she hurts the UPS guy with her.
Yeah, I guess. But like the montage of like them dancing and stuff, and then like the overtly gay guy. Oh my God, the bend and snap.
The random woman that like starts crumping during the bend and snap. I had never noticed that before. I was like, what is she doing? What is going on?
It just makes no sense. Like that
in her windsuit.
Yeah.
But bend and snap is one of those things. It's kind of like ugly football jerseys. Like when a team wears ugly football jerseys for so long, it becomes iconic. Like, like bend and snap is one of those things. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense, but it's so like memorable that you're just like, I got it.
And I think they definitely go ahead.
Oh, I wish that I had like tried the bend and snap at some point. Because I think she says that she had like an 98% success rate on attention and 83% return on a dinner invitation. Missing out on like a lot of free dinners in my past.
Want to test these numbers. You got to pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers.
Yeah.
Those advanced statistics are pretty amazing. That's an amazing hit rate right there.
That's the thing. Like I would keep track of something like that. That's
when he hits the baseball at this sort of launch angle, it goes like that's you hit the bend and snap.
Batting average of the bend and snap.
No, I think this performance by Reese Witherspoon, and I feel like we'll just talk about her the entire podcast, but it's more like nuanced than I thought going into it. In like the comedy of Reese Witherspoon, because we were talking about it before the pod, like Election, and she's always played sort of this girl next door or down home country girl sort of play, because she's from Nashville, right?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Like born in Louisiana, from Nashville. I mean, Man in the Moon, she plays this innocent 14-year-old girl. And so like we kind of see, I guess theater.
Cruel Intentions.
Maybe? Yeah.
Cruel Intentions. She is not a girl next door.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I forget about some of those earlier things like Cruel Intentions and Fear and some of that stuff. But this is where the first time that it was like, all right, we're going to make sure that you think that Reese Witherspoon is the hot girl, in this thing. I don't know, maybe, but Tejan, you were saying like
it never works for me.
It doesn't work for you.
It never works for me.
I don't want to objectify Reese Witherspoon, but I'm sitting here going like, I kind of agree, because all of a sudden it's just like, she's super good looking, but it's all of a sudden it's like they show her getting ready for this thing. And then all of a sudden it's not like early 2000s Angelina Jolie, like this, like sex appeal person. It's Reese Witherspoon, and she's gorgeous, but it's not the same thing. And then, if it was anyone else doing this role, they don't have the comedic timing. They don't have like the depth to that character that needs to kind of be there. You know what I mean? Like, what reason? Jennifer Love Hewitt's not pulling this off. You know what I mean?
I love Jennifer Love Hewitt, but mostly because she is gorgeous. But I agree. You have to be able to play Elwood. You got to be able to portray like an elite, an immense sense of confidence, while also being like super down to earth and nice, so that everybody can like you. It's not an easy thing to do, because when we go about our lives, we meet uber confident people like Elle Woods. We hate them, even if we only hate them because of the said confidence. And she's just like, oh, I never really wanted to be a lawyer, but now I'm going to come to you and tell you I want to get into law school, except for I'm only applying to one school, the best law school in the country. Like,
right, the most known law school.
That would make people hate you. Like, people would be like, how dare you? I've worked my whole life to accomplish that, and I can never get anywhere close to that. And you're just going to decide one day because of some man that you're going to end up at this law school, and like it actually ends up working out, but like it would make people resentful of her. And because of who Reese Witherspoon is and what she's able to do with the character, you don't watch the movie resenting Elle Woods. You're rooting for her. This is our protagonist, and we're just like, I want her to win. Obviously, we all know that her reasoning behind why she wants to accomplish this are really weird in the beginning, but you know the movie's going to take her off that and pivot and make her see that this could be her dream independently of this douchebag ex-boyfriend that obviously was going to always come calling back, and she's going to get to turn him down and have the cathartic moment of saying, fuck you, I could meet a boyfriend who's more serious or whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot of early 2000s rom-com comedy tropes, PG-13 comedy tropes within this movie. But I think what elevates this movie above that is the Reese Witherspoon, like, she didn't initially take the script because, and Etta, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know like you read the Wikipedia like I did, I said before, but like she didn't take the movie because she was worried that you had to like Elle Woods. And so they had to change some of the script to like make it like, you have to like this person. If you don't write her to where like, the
movie doesn't work if you don't like Elle Woods. It literally doesn't work.
Right. And there are so many, like you were saying, there's so many ways in which you could hate her.
Mm-hmm.
So she has to be this genuinely likable, kind, good person.
And they throw some stuff in there.
Finding that balance.
Yeah. They throw some stuff in there like, and what? You would call me a dyke behind my back? And she's like, actually, I don't use that word.
Use that word.
Yeah. So it's like they throw some stuff in there that are like, oh, she's like a nice.
I feel like person. That was like an edgy joke for 2001.
Right.
Like for when that came out, that was progressive.
I do like some of the lines about the side characters, especially like her is like, formed a group for lesbians against drunk driving. And it's just like some of those things. It's like some people think that Stephen Hawking got his book from my 4th grade paper. And it's just some of that pretension and stuff. And you have to set up like all of these people are just caricatures of pretentious Northeastern law school elite sort of
I gotta be honest with you though, that's exactly how I felt when I got to Baylor. I was in the honors college at Baylor. I lived in the honors college at Baylor, so like I was in an honors program. I lived in a dorm that was literally only people who were also in other honors programs. So you're just like every like get to know you thing you're doing. It's like I'm a national merit scholar. I was number 1 in my class, and they identified me as a genius when I was 7 years old, and I like built this model that like demonstrates the fucking, I don't know, musical notes that whales hit in order to like orgasm or something. Like, I don't know. Like just every single fucking person. And I was like, I just went to school, so
yeah.
Well, in that scene specifically, I'm like, today I was thinking, is it normal for people who already have a PhD to apply to law school? That seems super weird to me.
But, seems like a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, normal. Like all
really?
3 of the people other than her already have a PhD. But that scene always makes me think a little bit of myself, because like I'm doing a PhD in volcanology right now. And
she's a volcano doctor.
I also have a degree in interior design.
Oh, yes. Hell yes.
And so like every time we have these roundtables where people are like, oh yeah, my undergrad, I did astrophysics and did some study on whether or not we can find life forms using like, I don't know, dirt on a different planet that we looked at with a laser. Like, cool. I barely got into this school. So I also failed calculus, but volcanoes are cool.
I wanted to be here, so I'm here.
Volcanoes are cool. Shiplap is back. Plaid is out.
No, shiplap is terrible. No one should do shiplap. Bullshit.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Worst.
While I'm redesigning your house, do you want to hear about Vesuvius? I have a story like that where it's like welcome week at Baylor. They all come and you get grouped in. Tej, it's weird. You get grouped into like these pods.
It's a cult.
Yeah, you get grouped in like these pods of like 10 people, and it's your welcome week group, and it really is kind of, it lets you get to know some people like before you venture off into the great unknown of like college. It gives you kind of a safety net of like, hey, we study, or can we like go get coffee or something like that? Anyway, yeah, well, they had us like stand in a circle, and the people that make you do this are like sophomores. They're not any older than you, and they're just like, all right, everybody, kumbaya, like tell us where you're from, what you do. Is like, oh hi, my name's Chad. I'm like a 15th generation Baylor student. I'm a Christian, saved twice, and then it just goes around the circle. And it's just one of these things. It's like, oh yeah, I'm a biology major. And it just was so dry that when it got to me, I was like, hi, my name's Royden. I'm an alcoholic. And, and no one laughed except for my best friend, who's my best friend to this day. Goes, ha. And he's like, he told me later, he was like, I'm gonna hang out with that guy. And yeah, just so dry. Like that was my one story, and everybody was like, "Oh my god!" It's like, I was like, obviously, I'm kidding, but like,
yeah, college icebreakers are really, really awkward, and they nailed that in that scene.
They did nail that in that scene. All that to say, if you go back and you watch Reese, she cuts through all of these caricatures of these people where it's like, and she's sort of a caricature, but then there's like randomly more depth to it, where I was saying earlier, her nonverbal stuff in this movie is incredible. Like the way that she like shakes her head or rolls her eyes or like scoffs or like does some other stuff. It's just so, it always feels like somebody you've met. But like she plays like 3 or 4 different characters within this movie, because she plays like insecure at some point. She plays overly confident at some point. She absolutely nails all of the comedy bits within this movie of like, just, I don't know. It's just it's well written too. I can't overstate that. Like the Prada line when he's like, don't stomp your last season Prada shoes at me. And she's just like, he's gay. And it's just, it's kind of, it's a bad joke, but
they actually are Prada shoes from that season. They are from the fall winter line.
Oh my 2000. God. Oh my God.
Well, she literally says these are from last season, and then she has the epiphany. Like
I went and fact checked that today because I was like, are they actually Prada? They really are. They really are from that season.
She got to keep all of her outfits from this movie too. It was in her contract.
She has it written into her contract to keep every pair of shoes from every movie too. So she got 77 pairs of designer shoes from this movie.
Damn. What
77?
Smart.
Let's
That
go.
is so smart.
77?
I mean,
Reese
I'm sure they
Witherspoon
didn't all
will
make
never
it
lose.
in, but yeah.
Well, most of them didn't make it in, right? That's insane.
Right.
She's in like probably 10 different outfits in this movie.
Minimum.
But like,
oh, it's like 40. There's an article ranking all of her outfits throughout this movie.
Okay, are her outfits? I'm sure at the time her outfits were considered to be like super fashionable and super amazing. Maybe it's over the top. 20 years ago.
It's a caricature of 2001, right?
Like, what are these outfits that she's wearing? But obviously, she's going over the top so you can have the juxtaposition of
like,
how everybody else is dressed in the room.
Some of them are really high fashion. Like the outfit that she wears when she goes in for her internship with Callahan is Celine. Like that is a multi-$1,000 outfit. I'm fairly certain that the bag she's carrying is an Hermes Cali. I can't find a good enough still frame of it to be sure. I mean,
what an overqualified guest you are.
We would have just been like on this podcast. So it was like, is Reese Witherspoon hot? Like it's just like one of the...
And the answer is yes. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, but there are other aspects of it where I kept looking at it and being like, I am looking at Adelia's catalog from 1999. Yeah. There is a furry tissue box cover. She has a furry phone that she is talking on to her friends, which weirdly, like mind-blowingly enough, social media, she didn't know that her friend got engaged. Like,
yeah,
how
that
weird
really
is that?
I noticed that.
Like,
yeah.
What?
Like she called and her friend was like, by the way, this is like one of her best friends. So weird. That would never happen. Well,
so weird. That's so weird.
It might happen now to me because I don't ever go on social media other than Twitter to look at sports news. So
I mean, it's like you just text your friends like, hey, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend. Like that's what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't have to call.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is really, some of it is of the time. I mean, obviously, some of the jokes are of the time and, you know, the gay jokes and things like that, while still funny, are of the time.
Still funny, but definitely makes you remember you're watching a movie from 20 years ago. It's like, oh, they wouldn't make that joke today.
There was an R word dropped in there.
Oh, was there?
Yeah, I missed that.
No go.
Yeah, but all that to say, I give this movie a B+, just solely on the back of Reese Witherspoon. I mean, it cannot be stated enough how much, like, if this is just in the wrong hands, this movie is ass. This movie is really bad, actually. Like, if this is in the...
Are you saying you weren't drawn in by the dreamy eyes of Luke Wilson?
The Luke Wilson character, and we were talking before you got on that, like the Luke Wilson character is a nothing character. He doesn't, he's fine. I think his bits are good. And he's supposed to just be good looking dude number one that is just around, like, to not be non-asshole number one is like what he's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And like some of the bits that he gets to do are very Luke Wilson, like, and your boyfriend's name is Chuck. He's like, right. Like that's who Luke Wilson is. He's like the non-sarcastic Wilson brother. He's just kind of,
he's the good looking Wilson.
Yeah. Which is his lot in life, is just to be
a whole lot.
His lot in life is to just kind of be there. You know what I mean? And just not ruin the movie. And he doesn't. I actually think the Warner character is very funny. I mean, he's actually pretty good in this movie, just because like some of the lines that he gets to play off of where he's like, Warner, what are these shoes? Black. See? Or like,
well, and he does some really good nonverbal acting. His facial expressions at various points, like when Elle says, remember those 4 amazing hours we spent in the hot tub?
He's like, yeah, no.
And he's like, no, I don't. I'm not allowed to remember that. But I mean, he did a really good job of what he needed to do in that moment.
Also, about how bad of a job he did of managing 2 women who happened to go to the same very tiny law school, because he did an awful job of this.
Terrible job.
He's like, yeah, sure, she can sit here.
Job.
Like, no.
Yeah, like a horrendous job of having 2 girls on one campus and one very tiny law school. You have to be much better. Like, he was just awful. He was never trying to create boundaries. Like, what was he doing?
He didn't break up with Vivian before he's like, Elle, you're the one for me.
Yeah, extremely awkward.
We're just gonna get to that later. Like,
he's like, oh shit, I guess I gotta clean up an old mess now that we're back together. Well, let me go break up with Vivian really fast.
He has a power thing.
His first mistake was even telling Vivian about Elle in the first place. Like, that just didn't need to come up. Like,
that is a great point.
Yeah, because like, again, there's no social media. It's not like she was gonna go on your Instagram and see old pictures of Elle Woods and be like, "Who is this bitch?" Like, nah, she just didn't even know who that was.
Never expected Elle to ever like come to Harvard Law School, so there really was no reason to talk about your ex with this person. Well, I guess they're getting married or they're engaged at the time, so maybe they've already done the download of all their exes. But he just did a horrible job of handling this, and ever since when he finally sees Elle, he just like fumbles every social interaction he has with either of the women at every turn, and then at the end he's just like, "Hey, let's be back together." And it's like, what have you done to show this woman that you've broken up with when she thought you were going to propose? What did you do to make her think that y'all should be together? And he's just like, oh, I'm just like, I'm the same guy, so like she'll want to be with me again. It's like, no, obviously she's better than you in every way. She's better looking. She's more ambitious. She's better at law school. You don't even have a fucking law school job. Why would she want to date someone like you? But I guess you got to shoot your shot when you're open.
Yeah, I feel him on that. Like, it is what it is.
It is.
You gotta ask. You gotta ask. Like,
he was so ready to be a stay-at-home husband. He was so ready.
Yeah,
he saw it. He was finally like, I don't have to have these expectations of my family. I can literally just hitch my wagon to this woman. She's going places, and she's going to make us a lot of money.
He can't even be like, oh, I have the family money to fall back on, because she has family money too.
Yep.
Like, you grew up across the street from Aaron Spelling. He literally hosted his daughter's wedding at his house. Her house that she grew up in is not.
I do love her parents are like
that.
caricatures of the Beverly Hills people, where he's,
that is so funny.
honey,
They're so Southern
law
California.
school is for boring people. And he just has like a martini.
and you're not one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But their breakup scene also, it felt a little long, like when you don't realize that the movie's only an hour and a half. Like, it felt like this might be really long. But like just the end, like the end of that scene, her like deciding I'm just gonna walk home. Like, I was just like, oh my god, this is so 2000.
You'll ruin your shoes. She's like,
okay.
I watched this movie like, bro, I would have called
that.
the Uber so fucking quick. Like,
There was no
Ubers back then.
I just gotta
There were
walk
no
home.
Ubers.
I'm good. Like, just call anyone. Call your sorority sisters.
cell phones.
Yeah, just
I didn't
they got a
did not have a cell
phone.
phone. I didn't have a cell phone in 2001.
The restaurant has a phone. I am certain you can call someone.
Yeah, you got to remember numbers
Ooh.
back then too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pull out the beeper.
we were actually talking about this today because, like, I mean, my husband and I have been together since 2002, so I like know his phone number. I don't know Amy's phone number at all, and she's like my jail phone call. She's absolutely who I would call if I were in prison.
You got to know that number then.
I know. I'm working on it. But he was at the tire place today getting an alignment, and some girl came in and was like, oh, my boyfriend bought the tires. And they said, well, do you know his number so we can look it up in the computer? And she didn't know his number.
Mm-hmm.
So we have been discussing, like, at what level of dating someone now do you learn their phone number?
I'm not gonna lie. I've been with Caitlin for 7 years. I didn't learn it until like a year ago.
Wow.
The only phone number that I have memorized
so old
is
right
my
now.
mother. I have nothing else for you.
I have all my siblings and my mom and my dad, because it's so close. Like, it's like down the line of 7. It's just like one of those. But like, Caitlin's number's just always been in my phone. So I don't know. I just never.
Yeah.
I didn't have to ask her for it. She took my phone and put it in my phone. So it's just always been in my phone.
Yeah, I never look at most people's cell phone numbers, like, ever. They just
You don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Etta, did you and your husband see this movie together?
We did not. I had seen it before I met him.
Got it.
So actually, I don't think we saw a movie together on a date until we had been dating for like a year.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
So
See, that's just not. I love movies so much that I took Caitlin to see. Don't do this, by the way, unless it's a really good movie, like a movie that both of you are gonna. Or like, if you're listening and you're thinking about, oh, I want to take somebody on a date. Like, luckily it worked. I took Caitlin to see Fury, which is the tank movie with Brad Pitt.
Oh no.
I was like, it was like the second date.
my favorite movie, so in my top 3 movies are Legally Blonde, The Princess Bride, and Amelie. So like very weird combination of movies. The first movie we saw together was my husband was like, "Do you have any interest in seeing a really good zombie film?" I don't know what zombie film it was. It had a foreign white lady in it. Resident
Foreign
Evil,
white
28
lady.
days later. I don't know.
It might be 28 days later.
Probably 28 days later.
It was in that time frame. So,
Oh, it was definitely 28 days later.
yeah.
It definitely wasn't World War Z, or she would have seen. Isn't Brad Pitt in World War Z?
Yeah.
Yeah.
a bad movie.
We had kids by then. So yeah, no.
Like no more.
As far as movie
zombie
dates go,
movies.
Legally Blonde was probably a strong move.
Oh,
back in
That's true.
2001.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I'm sure it worked. I'm sure
Yeah,
it was a
legally,
great-
I'm
great
sure
movie
Legally
date.
Blonde was a strong move, especially like if you were in college at the time. Oof, perfect.
You want to
Yeah,
hop in
man.
my VW Bug and go see Legally Blonde?
Legally Blonde.
There's this new band called Maroon 5. I just got their CD.
Oh my God.
Do y'all think that the song "Perfect Day" could also work in Django because they use that song in this movie twice? And could this
no.
fit in Django? Yes or no?
He kills Steven and his perfect day. No, I
Say
think
goodbye say goodbye to Laura.
and the perfect day. That beginning scene of this movie of her getting ready, it's like one of the most, it's a long montage of her before you see the star of the movie. And you just really don't do that anymore in movies. I feel like it is a very 2000s, like American Pie, this sort of thing before you see the
That's a great point.
Stars of the movie.
Yeah.
You see like all these characters that don't even like one-liner character extras that like don't even matter. And then it's just like people handing each other things and like, you know, doing all this stuff. It's a weird thing that is very of that time if I'm thinking about it right now. And there's no reason for it, but I'm just like thinking of that right now where it's like, oh, here's a random freshman. Here's somebody else in the sorority house. And we're handing each other flyers and we're doing all this stuff. And people are going by the camera and she's like intercutting her, putting on nail polish and putting on all this stuff before you even see who Reese Witherspoon is. It's like an interesting thing of the time.
It's a little bit of a throwback because I mean, that was more common in like 60s movies, like the old Parent Trap. There's a huge montage that's like 60s style, kind of mid-century mod illustrations, like cartoons. So I feel like there was like this period where they did that and then they didn't. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, it was a thing again for whatever reason. Maybe
it's very
nostalgia.
Much, I don't know. It's very much just of that era. Comedy movies too. Like I don't remember it from anything else. But what are some of your favorite bits from this movie? If you had the bit where she goes up to the weird guy, the guy that's doing the Will Ferrell impression, and she
gets him a date.
Yeah, the best night that I've ever had in my life, and you don't call me back. I laughed out loud at that because it was so pure that he was like, no, I'm sorry. Like, I really love.
It immediately follows. I almost said Owen. Luke Wilson telling her, "Use your powers for good."
Yeah,
like, do something. You're underestimating yourself as a blonde.
A terrible ADR scene, by the way. Like you can just hear that they just voiced over that car ride because they did not get that audio whatsoever.
Why are there no black people in this law school?
Why are there no black people in the entire film?
There's no black people in this.
There is a black
in the
woman
background.
In the pop. What is it? The drop-in pop. Whatever.
Yes.
There's a black woman.
Is she
in
the only person?
They have her
crump.
They have her crumping.
That is the only black person that I saw in this movie.
Yeah.
Isn't the judge?
I know black people who went to Harvard.
The judges.
Law, so there are black people. Oh, and the judge is black too. There are black people that went to Harvard Law. I know black Harvard Law students and graduates. There are no black people in this law school at all. I didn't.
The makers of these movies. There's no black people in Boston.
I think Enrique and his boyfriend Chuck are the only Latinos.
Yes.
Oh
I
yeah.
think.
Maybe the lesbian woman, is she white? I don't know.
Probably.
Her name's Enid Wexler. I assumed she might be like Jewish, maybe. I mean, she looks potentially, I don't know. Just stop talking because that sounds really horrible.
I feel you. We are not getting canceled this afternoon.
I know the Reese Witherspoon that I know and love in 2021. If she was making this movie again, she would cast.
Well, I tell you what, they are. They are.
Legally Blonde 3 soon come.
Legally Blonde 3 soon come. Yeah.
Is she going to be in it, or is she just like?
Yeah, she's in it.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be like the partner of a law firm, and she meets the new Elle Woods or something.
I bet I bet she like put somebody on like a new protege or something like that, like she does with in real life.
Can someone give me like a 10-second summary of the plot of the sequel, the first sequel?
She goes to Washington, right?
She goes to Washington to work on some sort of legislation, and there was something with legislation with gay dogs. I don't remember why.
It became even more of a caricature of this movie. It wasn't
every 2000 sequel.
My memory of it is Jennifer Coolidge sees Elle dressed very red, white, and blue and says, "That makes me want a hot dog real bad." That's the whole movie.
I love Jennifer Coolidge.
Makes me want a hot dog real bad.
She talks the same in everything, but I don't care. I love Jennifer.
She does. I was asking today, like, how many nose jobs ago was Legally Blonde?
At least 7.
A good bit. The Jennifer Coolidge scenes though with the UPS guy, the super hot UPS guy,
extremely awkward.
Who has never been in anything else other than like
you know
Call
what
of
he's
Duty.
Never seen that guy ever again.
In this movie is called UPS guy. They didn't even give him a name.
Well, they say that at the end. They font him when they say she married the UPS guy. Call him UPS guy.
Yeah,
I've never seen that actor before. I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is a really weird looking dude. And then those scenes are
he
so
looks
weird.
like the guy from Ash versus the Evil Dead.
I can see that.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I like when she carries the massive bulldog. I love a bulldog. So I was really into the fact that that's probably my favorite scenes when they go get the dog back and Elle Woods realizes that I could actually do this and help people as opposed to doing this to get back some stupid boy. I thought that was like a necessary scene. You have to have that. You have to have her switch her motivations, and that's kind of where it happens. And everything she says is gibberish, but it worked.
Because of mens rea.
It's habeas corpus.
Habeas corpus.
We'll be taking this dog right now.
My favorite bit is definitely her video essay.
Yes.
I can use legal jargon in everyday life. I object.
I object. And then she just looks at that's what I'm saying about her nonverbal stuff. She looks back at the camera and like tilts her head and smiles. It's incredible comedy where she's just like, and when it cuts, the hard cut to all the old white guys in the boardroom being like, huh?
I mean, you see it though, right? Yeah. Like you see it, see it. Let her.
Yeah, she cares about the environment.
I literally wrote down in my notes while watching, never underestimate the ability of a bunch of white guys to spin things to meet their desired outcome.
That's exactly what they were doing. She's a friend to the animals and a humanitarian. It's like, that's one way of thinking about it.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Go ahead, Betta.
Oh, I think my favorite, I don't know if it's a bit or not, but it's my most quoted part of this movie is why now? Why this sperm? I use that way too often, and fewer people than you would recognize that.
Well, because it's like
I get a lot. It's not the really most.
Yeah, it's like it's a very funny moment, but it's for some reason. Yeah, it's not the. It's not the.
It does not stick in your head, and people look at me like I'm insane, which is why I am.
I would not have recognized it before rewatching this movie today, but now I'll be on the lookout.
The classroom scenes aren't what you remember, even though it fills a good 30-minute gap of this movie of her getting established, buying the orange computer, which, good Lord, that orange MacBook Pro or that orange MacBook.
I had.
You had one? Yeah. Yep.
Mine was blue, but I had that computer.
How big was your first iPod?
big as my computer screen right now.
Was it like this big? I remember the first iPods were like.
My dad had the one that was like this thick and had
Yeah.
multiple buttons.
Yep.
I don't think I had an iPod until the first skinny nano one came out.
I had the skinny nano one, but I vividly remember my sister having like, this is an iPod, and it was like this big, but it was like even like this thick. And
There was no color. It was just
it was
black
white.
and white.
Yeah. But I had like a massive CD case in my car. So
absolutely. Did you have the thing that like went on the
because I just
visor?
I just had the massive case, and I would flip through,
flip
and
through
I
the
knew
book.
where they were, and I could do
that's what I
it
had.
without looking.
I had them in order, so I knew exactly where to go, so I
Yep.
could be driving and know exactly what page to flip to.
Yep.
All right, here's my Snow album. Controller. The thing with like the middle part of these things, but yeah, the why this sperm? Why not? Like, I don't know if that legal argument even holds up, but it is very, very funny. Victor Garber, all-time sleazebag, all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, just
because I
big
love
time.
him.
Yeah, I like Victor Garber. Like, I always get him and what's his face from? Why am I? Oh God, I don't want to finish the sentence.
Is Victor Garber the guy who plays the main lawyer / professor who's giving out internships?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was going full creep mode. It was very awkward.
I always get him in the guy from Pretty Woman mistaken.
Richard
They got that
Gere.
Richard Gere.
older
Yeah,
white guy, salt and pepper hair thing.
I get him and Richard Gere confused all the time. I don't know why.
Not all white people look alike, Royden.
Yeah, we do.
yeah, they do.
I
I say this all the time. Every race and gender combo has like 5 faces to choose from. We all look alike. It's okay. Just lean
you
into
don't
it.
fit in those.
Yeah, if you don't fit in those, it can be like an Anya Taylor-Joy situation, or it can be like a Paul Buscemi situation.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Steve Buscemi doesn't look like any other white person.
Steve
ever lived.
Buscemi.
Steve Buscemi looks not of this earth, but like the
Anya Taylor-Joy also doesn't look like anybody I've ever seen before.
But it works. Like,
It took me like 3 episodes of Queen's Gambit to be like, what does this woman actually look like? I'm just confused. I'm just really confused.
like I'm 2 shades away from like James McAvoy. Like if you just like one way or the other, like it just is. This is the same person down the line. Like
there are like 18 like different chubby faced black dudes at Baylor with glasses who I was told I look like every single day. And at first I was like, that's racist. I'm so offended. And then you meet so many like Emily's and Hannah's and James.
You mix
and
them all
Luke's.
up. You're like, maybe I need to be easier on people.
Yeah, maybe I need to take it easy. It's really hard.
There's only one Etta though. So.
for the longest time, I was told I would look like Ryan Phillippe. And I was like, speaking of Legally Blonde, and I was like,
Speaking of Cruel Intentions. Wait, Brian Phillippe is not legally. Wait,
No,
No,
I
I mean,
mean,
he was married to.
he was married to her at this time.
I always forget that those people used to date. I always forget.
2 kids, right?
Yeah.
And they look like both of them. Anyway.
Is that why she was in Cruel
Well-
Intentions? Because that's not a Reese Witherspoon movie. I don't know why she was in that film.
I mean, they got married after that.
That was a weird
think-
choice
isn't that where
for
they
her
met?
to be in that film.
Yeah.
She had to be
I mean-
the less hot one, but like still kind of hot. It
Also-
Who's
just-
the other one?
Also,
Neve
what's her-
Campbell?
Sarah Michelle.
Geller.
Oh, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Sorry.
But yeah, Neve Campbell's in Cruel Intentions too, which is a weird crossover in this
yes,
movie.
she is.
Wait, isn't Selma Blair also?
No, wait.
Wait, Selma
Is it
Blair
Sel-
is.
I think
Selma
it's
Blair.
and
Sorry,
not-
you were saying Neve
not Neve
Campbell.
I was like, wait, I'm pretty sure she's in it.
Yeah,
been a
Selma
while.
Blair
Who
is in
knows?
that, which is a weird crossover. But
Oh wait, because Selma Blair's in this movie too, right?
Yeah.
Selma
Yeah.
Blair plays
She's
the.
Vivian.
She's the Vivian. That's right. That's right.
Yep. She's the frigid.
Um,
bitch.
Why
yeah,
do they
what-
have Vivian? It was kind of weird writing, and maybe it's just the 20-year haze that I'm under and not realizing what I felt when I first saw the movie. But I don't know why they had Vivian for exactly 3 minutes of movie time.
hate
Think
her and then
that Elle Woods is about to hook up with the partner because they literally get rid of it in the next scene. The next scene, Luke Wilson's in jail talking to the person who's on trial, and she's, you don't know what you're talking about. She didn't. She wasn't.
Which isn't evidence that she didn't. He was just like, "You're an idiot."
The whole thing is weird. I was just like, "Wait, why do we even have that part of the storyline if we're literally going to run that back 2 minutes later?" I don't understand why we did it in the first place.
That whole thing was stupid to me because I was like, "Okay, you saw her in his office. He like put his hand on her, and then you see her like 30 seconds later in an elevator. Like what? Like
what do you think happened?
Like, what did you think was going on?
I mean, he's older.
He's putting the moves on him.
Yeah,
in 30.
He's older.
Take old guys very long. So.
Well, actually, it might. Was this pre-Viagra, post-Viagra?
No.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's got to take his pill first.
Bob Dole.
Yeah, Bob Dole did the Viagra ads because he had his little blue friend, but it was actually Pepsi was the joke.
There is a Taco Bell commercial in this, by the way.
That's true.
There is.
Isn't the trivia? Isn't it the dog that they use for her dog is the Taco Bell dog?
Oh, is it?
I think
not
so.
the same kind of dog. I think it's the same exact dog, and it's like the little inside joke of
like the dog actor
is the Taco Bell dog. Yeah.
The dog is a paid actor.
The dog is the Taco Bell dog watching his own work.
That makes sense.
Reese Witherspoon co-starring with the Taco Bell dog. This sounds like such a 2001 sentence,
right?
It's also funny that like a certain generation, if you tell them like the Taco Bell dog, they would literally have no mental picture of like, what are you talking about? What do you
guys remember the Taco Bell dog?
Oh yeah,
I definitely
really?
do. But I'm old.
No, but
so
okay, sorry. I meant Royden and Dex.
There was a time when they reran it. Like there was a time when they brought it back, maybe like late, like 2004 or something. Like they brought it back because I remember the Taco Bell dog, but then it was gone. It was just like,
you guys remember the Budweiser frogs?
Yes. Oh, definitely remember the Budweiser
vaguely.
Okay.
I don't know if I remember that.
How do you not remember the Budweiser frogs?
Do you remember the Wasabi guys?
Yes,
yeah. I remember the ones because it just
I was in
my life
school.
for like 3 years.
I was in high school when they came out.
Me too.
I will say that if you say like the TV commercial dog, I'll assume you're talking about the Target dog, but I do remember the Taco Bell dog.
Oh,
yeah, I have a stronger association with the Target dog. Spot.
I always forget that there is a Target dog.
How can you forget about Spot? He's a legend.
So all right, let's wrap up this discussion, move on to our draft. The final scene of the movie, well, not the final scene, but the final set piece of the movie, with shout out to my screen went blank. She plays the
Holland Taylor.
No. Well, shout out to Holland Taylor. But why am I? Oh, Linda Cardellini, a queen.
Oh yeah.
She's in this movie for 10 seconds, which I thought she was in the movie for longer. I thought that, just remembering back, I thought that like, oh, she had been established before. No, they bring her onto the stand and then send her to jail. And then it's just like, but that final scene is kind of funny. She's just like, oh, curls didn't suit her. She didn't have your bone structure. It's like a really great argument. And it's really funny, but like the how quick that scene is, I forgot that it's only like 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it really isn't.
Literally only a couple minutes.
They fire Victor Garber on the scene, which no way that you would let like the Boston bar or the Massachusetts bar lets a law student.
No, that's a movie rule. Trust me.
Yeah,
and absolutely.
And also, third year, not first year.
There's also no way that the guy that just got fired is just sitting in the crowd watching it. Like, I'm not staying here. I'm not being paid to be here. Yeah. I'm embarrassed. He just like sits down. Like, I'm just going to enjoy the show now. Like, it was just weird.
I can't wait to watch you go to prison. Like, what the fuck? No, get out of here.
That was bars. When he said enjoy prison, that was bars.
Because she's definitely going to prison. There's no way she's not.
Yes, facts.
We can't avoid also the fact that she wouldn't let them use the alibi that she was getting liposuction. Like, I'm not going to prison.
Like, I'm sorry.
She was facing
talk about the
Murder.
fact that Ali Larder in 2001, it was normal and like accepted that she got lipo. And now I think I'm probably bigger than she was in 2001. Maybe, I don't know, who knows.
Ooh.
But that was also like the Kate Moss era where, you know, ugh. Anyway, so annoying. It's
That is a funny
normalize.
That is a funny bit though in the jail where she's like, no way that anybody could have this ass. It's just
Yes.
Normal women can't have this ass.
yeah. And but the final scene is a really good. Wouldn't you know that if you got your hair wet, it wouldn't activate the flammonium. I don't know what to do. Flyglycolate. I forget what she calls it.
It would deactivate the ammonium thioglycolate.
Yeah. And she's just like, she folds like a lawn chair. She didn't have any sort of backup to her story whatsoever. Linda Cardellini, get with the program.
Like,
Her lawyer did not do a good job prepping her.
We cannot commit crimes together anymore.
Like, her lawyer was stunned too. She was like, what? Like
she went through all the trouble of getting the pool boy to make up a fake relationship and lie on the stand. But you weren't ready to lie about the perm
your hair
in the shower?
Yes, like
I was wearing a shower cap. Done. Argument over. She's going to prison.
Or like, it's still, you're in the shower. It's a gun. Like, they're not quiet. You would have heard that shit. That doesn't make sense anyway. Come up with another lie. I was listening to my Walkman or whatever you do in 2001.
What are they doing in their pool that they have a full-time pool boy?
they're just rich.
As someone with a pool, please inform us. Like, because I don't
have a pool.
5 minutes of work a week, unless there's a monsoon. The water chemistry handles itself. I don't even know what.
Just like to see him in the thumb. That's all.
Isn't there a point of this movie where she, Reese Witherspoon references her boobs about like big boobs or something? I don't remember.
Multiple times, yes.
Okay, no, are my boobs not big enough? Is the breakup thing? Yeah.
Yeah.
What was I was in high school when this movie was out, but I didn't see this movie until years later. Did people think that Reese Witherspoon was like a large-breasted woman at this time? Okay, I'm just making sure I wasn't. I was like, am I tripping? Like, because sometimes, you know, the way we view bodies is just different, like because of the things that we've been exposed to and the surgeries that people get and stuff. So like maybe our scale of like what represented the big boobs might be different. But I was just like, I don't ever remember thinking that when I was in high school and seeing Reese. I don't ever think I once was like, man, Reese Witherspoon.
They really want to play on you, making you think that she was a pinup, and it's just not kind of the case. With I don't know.
Yeah, you can only be a woman from the Northeast who's boring if you're like flat chested.
Yeah, you got to do the little crane character from Frasier.
I understand. That actually makes perfect sense.
Straight as a board.
The way that
dark
people make
hair.
movies. Yes.
Although they went when she goes, this is the woman that she's interested in. And the old woman goes, what? I'm like not great.
Practically deformed.
Like, oh, good Lord. Like, what a burn, lady. But like, yeah.
Y'all are saying Reese Witherspoon's not that hot. I gotta strongly disagree.
No,
by the time we got to the bunny costume, I was like, "Yep, we're all the way here."
I do like your take that is like no one would not pay attention to this woman. That's like
nobody is like if you walk into a non-costume party in a hot bunny costume and you look like Reese Witherspoon, everyone is talking to you the entire fucking night. Like this is not. They're not looking at you like you grew a third eye. Like everyone is just enraptured by this woman who showed up in the hot bunny costume. That's just what it is, especially in college.
There is a moment in that I fell in love with her, that it was like she comes in and everybody's looking at her and she like rolls her eyes to the side and like does this scoff and like shoulder shrug thing. And I was like, all right. Yeah. I was like, yep. It is a moment. They put it in the trailer too. But there's a moment in that I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love with this woman.
Like, as an incredibly straight woman, there are definitely times where I see women and I'm like, oh yeah, I get it. I never get that from Reese. Like, I want to go lunch with Reese. I want to hang out with her. She's lovely. She's a beautiful woman. I don't get the sexual appeal.
That is, there's some
the
moments.
Exact same way. I'm with that on this one. I feel every time I watch this movie,
Dex.
I'm just like, I hate seeing Reese Witherspoon cast as the hot one. She's a beautiful woman. She has great personality. I want to hang out with her, but I do not see her in the way that she's supposed to be portrayed in this film. I know that Dex and Roy see it. I do not see it.
I think it's the confidence for me. I really do. I think it's like
she is extremely confident, which is very sexy.
I'm attracted to confident women, and I think the confidence in this movie, but mostly the first movie that I really saw her in because I'm young was Walk the Line, and her like going toe to toe with like Johnny Cash. I'm like, yep, all right, I get it. I'm like,
all right, hold on. I'm sorry. Reese Walk the Line, Reese Witherspoon being the one that sold you is just kind of wild to me. I'm sorry.
My first Reese Witherspoon movie,
I like what I like.
Yeah.
My first Reese Witherspoon movie was Fear, so definitely not the kind of film that you're going into. Like this woman that's being battered by Marky Mark is super gorgeous. Like you just don't think like that because Marky Mark was battering her the whole time, so it was really awkward.
Yeah,
I think it's the first time that I was really just like, oh, I'm in love with Reese Witherspoon was like Big Little Lies, where she's just like the rich, messy one. And I was like, I need that.
Like 2 years ago.
I need that in my
life. That was recent.
Yeah, this is a recent.
During the pandemic.
You haven't been in love with Reese Witherspoon for that long.
Yeah, I haven't.
Got it.
And I caught up.
But you were in love with Reese pre-pandemic though, because that was when you went
Big
to
Little Lies was
the silos. Was it?
Yeah,
it was.
Like everything like runs
especially
together.
The first season.
Season 2 was like, I feel like season 2 kind of bookended that. But
the one you're thinking about was the one with Kerry Washington, which was another great show. But
literal fires everywhere.
Kerry Washington, like
we all do.
Yeah, I get it.
Oh,
Same.
I love Kerry Washington.
Shout out to Olivia Pope. Ruined my life, please.
All right, we're gonna move on from this.
I would abandon my presidentship for you two.
We're gonna move. Oh my god. All right. That has been Legally Blonde. Oh god. What a wild concept for a show.
The president just risking it all.
So genius. It's not that great of a show, but the genius of like, we're just gonna make a daytime television drama, but we're just gonna have like literally
we're just gonna put it in prime time.
The president is just going to be cannot stop fucking our main character.
The president
tries to stop. He literally cannot stop fucking this black woman. Of course, people were gonna watch that shit.
The white president has been given everything in his entire life, and he just cannot stop simping for this black woman. It works for him. Shonda Rhimes is a genius.
Shonda Rhimes cut the fucking check.
He's literally risking it all for Olivia Pope, who is gorgeous, but you're the fucking president, bro. You got to calm the fuck down.
Shonda Rhimes like solving murders and shit, and he's just over here, just like, I need you, please.
Shonda Rhimes ain't made 18 seasons of Grey's Anatomy for nothing. She knows what she's doing.
I cannot believe that show is still on.
Good lord, those people are so rich. Everyone on that show is rich as shit.
How much sex in hospitals can you show on one TV show before people are just like, enough? They just keep coming back.
ER had already like done 15 seasons of it and figured it out.
My little brother, who is 17 years old, fucking loves Grey's Anatomy, and I have no idea why.
Really?
He sat and like binged the entire
older
fucking
than him.
thing.
It's on now. Yeah.
I was like, what? Why are you doing this? Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
It's on Netflix. I watched 11 seasons of that show. I'm not going to lie to you.
I have never wanted to have sex in the hospital. And maybe it would be different if I worked there every day. That's the nastiest thing. That's disgusting to have sex in the
when
hospital.
I see doctors in public in their scrubs, I like scoot away.
Hold on a minute.
Wait a second here.
Hold on a minute.
Wait a second here. We're not going to.
Once again, I'm with Etta. That's gross. Yeah, who knows? You got those scrubs on. It's been blood and fecal matter all over you. I don't really want to sit next to you at the local cafe.
Well, you know what it is. Dex is for messy women. That's
Dex just wants to mess with the nurses. No, thank you, bro. You don't know what nurses see on a day-to-day basis. They've seen some sick shit. Those scrubs have seen some nasty things. Stay away from them.
You know how many dicks and
Stay away
vaginas that
from
nurses see in like a given day? It's crazy. Caitlin will come home and be like, I had to put in 18 catheters today. I'm like, holy shit. What?
What a fucking day.
Hard pass.
No further comment, Your Honor.
I will stay with rocks.
With the habeas corpus and the mens rea, I have decided not to speak. I prefer not to speak. I'm in big trouble.
Oh my God. Some of the horror stories that Caitlin tells me are terrifying.
Now we're king shaming because all of these stories would be Dex. Like, I'll be into that. I'll be into role playing that. We're gonna move on.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna throw up on me, but
I'm going to insert this catheter. All right, that's how I'm gonna start.
I'm going to insert this ad break from Apollo Media.
Oh my God, it's off the rails. We're gonna do most likable celebrities, by the way.
Cannot wait. This is gonna be a great draft.
We're gonna do most likable celebrities right after this ad break from Apollo Media, and I need another drink. All right.
I just pulled up a list of the most likable celebrities, and the first name that popped up. Actually, I'm gonna save this when we're recording again because this is amazing.
Okay.
Probably the most unlikable celebrity of all time.
Dex did not tell me if they had to be actors or actresses, so I just went with famous people.
No, they don't. They just
celebrities is all good. Yeah.
Perfect.
Let's see what we're gonna do.
I'm glad we're not recording because I've been waiting on these cherries for a while.
Last week we did Marcus T. Royd and Dex. This week, let's do
Etta first.
Yeah, Etta first. Then I'll go next.
Bring back the puppy.
I'll bring it back.
Yeah, Teach, we're gonna give you the turn.
All right, I'll take the turn. You've been requested to be back. You can be back.
I'm gonna live tweet these, so talk slow.
The captain of some Boeing 787 suffered a heart attack and died mid-flight.
Jesus Christ.
See, I get all the fun aviation news. Hi, buddy. You are so handsome.
Hi.
What do they do? Do they just like?
Well, there's other pilots, right?
Co-pilot.
Just somebody else will just take over.
Yeah, but when somebody dies, you just like move them to the side real quick, like just.
That's why you gotta have a co-pilot.
The seat has like wheels on it. You just kick
fly
the seat
from
back.
either seat.
What the fuck did I miss? What did I miss?
Apparently, a pilot died mid-flight, and the co-pilot had to take over. But Dex was asking, "What do you do, like, to get the guy out of the seat that just died in the seat? But you can fly from both seats, so the other pilot can fly from where they sit."
Yeah, there's two controls, bud.
You're just flying next to a dead body. It's okay.
Flying a plane, and you're just like looking over, like, yeah, Carl's dead. Like,
honestly, there's a lot of dudes that they're basically dead anyway. So I think it's preferable that they're just silent.
This would have been a really good ending to the movie Flight with Denzel Washington if his co-pilot died right next to him and he was too drunk, but he thought he wasn't flying that day, and all of a sudden he had to fly. That would have been great.
All right. We are going to do most likable celebrities. Denzel might be on this list. Let's go. Etta, Dex, Tej, Royden.
No, it's Royden, Tej. I have the turn.
What? Do we already get a draft order?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. All right. What? Oh, so
it's Etta, Dex, Royden, Tej.
Etta, Dex, Royden, Tej. All right. Most likable celebrity, movie star. Like, I don't care if you pick a celebrity, but I think we're gonna do a movie stars. But Etta, go ahead.
Oh well, I wasn't given that instruction, so I just went with famous people.
That's fine.
Let's go with
for my first pick, I'm going with Ina Garten because Ina and I are gonna get
Who?
Yeah,
he's a celebrity chef.
Oh,
okay.
And she just gets like messy tipsy with people.
That's
she
fun.
Looks like a shitload of fun. I can already tell by the way she's cooking that it looks like her food is great and she looks like a great time.
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen this woman. Yeah.
She like quit her stressful corporate job and like stays at home and cooks now and has
Barefoot.
a show. Somebody pays her to do it.
Barefoot Contessa, right?
The Barefoot Contessa.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she's wonderful.
I do
Yeah.
know who this is.
All right.
Amazing.
What an interesting pick. All right.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm all
did
over
not
the
expect
place.
that to be the first overall pick, but now that I know who you're talking about, I love it.
All right. Dex, second pick.
Easy, Tony Hawk.
Good one.
Tony-
Good one.
I don't know a single person who doesn't like Tony Hawk. Tony Hawk, like just melting down on Twitter whenever someone doesn't recognize him in public, is incredible content. He gave us several video games that I love.
Elite.
He showed up in like a Lil Nas X video just randomly the other day. Like,
Oh wow! I
everyone
didn't know
loves
that.
Tony Hawk. Like
Oh,
not
I
a
saw
music
that.
video, just a TikTok video.
Oh, God.
All time tweet.
Yeah.
All
All-time
like,
tweet.
like Twitter Hall of Fame. Etta, do you know what we're talking about?
Probably not.
When I have to kill Tony Hawk in the race war.
Someone had posted that with there's like a famous gift of Wesley Snipes about to shoot someone. He has a tear in his
Hold on.
eye. And they tweeted that, and Tony Hawk retweeted it and said, "Thanks for pausing."
Let me see. Hold on. Let me
Oh my
share.
gosh. I feel like there's like a corner of Twitter that I don't usually get exposed to.
Yeah.
I appreciate the hesitation.
Appreciate the hesitation. Oh my
Honestly,
God.
yeah.
What a
Yeah, that
perfect
makes
response
sense.
to that tweet. Tony Hawk is a gem, but he's not on my top white person rankings. He's only like number 2.
That's fantastic.
But I'm going to
Uh,
pick my number 1, so I'm not going to tell you who it is yet.
All right. I'm gonna go with number 1 for me. I'm gonna go with Keanu Reeves.
Great
Um,
choice.
Keanu Reeves is legitimately like apparently like the best person alive. Like he'll just go eat with homeless people on the street. He's donated a ton of his salaries to charity, and also a tragic story for that guy too. But you would never know it. Like if you don't know Keanu Reeves' story, go look it up. Several people in his life have died, and he's lost, I think, children and stuff like that. And he just like genuinely, some of the candid photos that you find of Keanu Reeves just like eating on a bench with a homeless person. Like he's just a good guy. And apparently, yeah, even though he's not the best actor, everybody's just like, yeah, Keanu. So one of the most famous people of all, one of the highest paid actors of all time. Not a dick. Who would have thought?
I
Who
would
would've
be
thought?
if I made the Matrix. Fuck
Man,
all
listen, you wouldn't be able to tell me shit if I make it.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Keanu.
Teach 2 picks.
What's on me? When I was Googling most likable celebrities to get some references, at the top of this list that I just pulled up is Ellen DeGeneres. So obviously this list is not very,
No,
Useless.
Ellen DeGeneres is no longer on the likable ranking. She's been banished from the cast of likables. These are easy choices for me. My first choice is going to be Tom Hanks. Who doesn't love Tom
Damn
Hanks?
it.
He's the greatest
Damn
guy
it.
of all time. And he
America's
made
dad.
Forrest Gump. He's America's dad. And he's also Colin Hanks' dad, which is perfectly fine, but he's also Chet Hanks' dad, which is weird.
yeah,
But-
that deducts some points.
It's weird. It's got to be a slight deduction, but he's still going to be on my team.
Come
I'm also
on, Tom.
drafting-
Come on. You got to do better than Chet.
You
Come on.
teach your kids the way you want them to go, and sometimes they don't choose that.
And sometimes they don't
so-
choose that way.
Sometimes
It's
they
not
choose
his
to be
fault.
Jamaican. So.
Do you think he's like?
Sometimes
Do you
they choose
think-
to be Jamaican?
Do you think he like? He definitely tells him to shut the fuck up at the dinner table. Like the most like calm dude of all time. He's not like he has to be like Chet. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck
I don't
up.
advocate
God
for
damn
beating
it.
your children, but it's clear that Tom Cruise maybe should have considered alternative methods of raising Chet. But you know, hindsight's 2020. For my second pick, I'm picking the greatest white person of all time. It is not Tony Hawk, although Tony Hawk is high up on the list. It is none other than Larry David, my favorite white
Hell
person of all time.
yes.
I love
Hell
Larry
yes.
David. I know that people on the certain side of the political line hate Larry David. I totally understand that. I kind of agree with Larry David's politics, so I love Larry David. He's one of my favorite people ever. I'm not a starstruck person. I don't really get starstruck by celebrities. If I met Larry David, I would legitimately freak out. I love Larry David.
Also, like just the same person in real life as he is in the show.
I feel like I know Larry David just from watching this TV show, but you can't say about everybody. But I honestly feel like I can have a conversation with Larry David. And I can know exactly what kind of guy he is just because I've watched every episode of Curb that's ever existed. So,
well, like losing his shit in the grocery store.
I was gonna mention that a couple weeks ago, like the Trump lawyer or whatever, who big time lawyer,
I saw
Alan
this.
Dershowitz.
Yeah,
he just yelled at him. He's like, "The fuck are you doing?" Like, he's just, which is insane.
Fantastic.
In a Martha's Vineyard grocery store.
We can tie it back together because Alan Dershowitz worked at Harvard Law School. True story, or still does, I think. So there you go, full circle moment.
Okay, most likable celebrities. Man, this is tough. I'm unprepared for this. Honestly. I'm gonna go with Lady Gaga.
That's a good one.
I feel like no one has anything bad to say about Lady Gaga except for what's his face's wife. Well, except for what's his face's wife.
And except for the person that stole her dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Bradley Cooper's wife may have something bad to say about Lady Gaga.
Does Bradley Cooper's wife have beef with Lady Gaga? Were there rumors that Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga were dating or something?
Did you see their song?
Did you watch the Oscars?
I mean, I saw it, but that doesn't mean that they're dating. They're actors.
And then
did you watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith? It's the same vibe.
I did not get the same vibes from Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Oh.
Two people
Bradley
that
Cooper
clearly
is no longer
each
with that woman, right?
When you watch Mr. and Mrs. Smith, it's clear those two people have seen each other naked. They've tasted each other. I did not get those vibes from watching Shallow. I did not get those vibes. I
absolutely got those vibes from watching either that or they like desperately want to.
Yeah, that Oscars performance, it was like, yeah, they would.
I don't think Bradley Cooper is into Lady Gaga. I never got that inclination. I don't think
I definitely did.
Everyone else did, bud.
Yep.
This is new for me. I did not see this chemistry, although they were great on stage and on the film. I did not feel real life sexual chemistry where it was very clear what was happening on the set of Mr. and Mrs. Smith in those trailers. It was very clear what was happening.
That's true.
All right. Dex.
I'm gonna take our first black celebrity of the draft. I'm gonna go
because I was starting to feel weird that it was no black celebrities.
I gotta go with Will Smith. Everyone loves Will Smith, except Jada sometimes. But
only sometimes though.
Only sometimes. It just depends. There are entanglements from time to time, but you got to deal with that. I will watch Will Smith do just about anything in any movie, and I'll watch him do anything on YouTube or Twitch or whatever. Instagram, doesn't matter. Will Smith is in it. I'm probably gonna like it because he's just that fun, and he's been fun my entire life. So
absolutely. All right, Etta.
So apparently this person is my Will Smith. I'm gonna take Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
I was scared about where you were going with this. I was scared.
Yeah.
I was scared.
I will watch anything he's in. YouTube, Cooking with Martha, whatever. If it's a Corona commercial, everything. Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Random celebrity boxing matches.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't care who's fighting. You tell me Snoop Dogg's gonna be the one commentating. I'm literally tuning in. Like that guy.
He in the Olympic coverage is like the best thing that NBC's ever done.
If we kick Eli to the curb and it's Peyton and Snoop.
Ooh.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
$1 million idea.
I have not watched the NFL regularly in years. I would watch that every week.
They're doing that tomorrow, by the way.
I want Snoop to do all sports. When I saw him doing boxing, I was just like, one, he's great at this, but also two, I just want him being high as shit, saying whatever he feels like saying on every sport possible. I would welcome him to all my sports watching experiences.
My favorite thing that he has ever done is like commentating the animal videos.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yes.
Yeah. There's a deep dive YouTube hole that you can get in. Is Snoop Dogg high as shit commenting animal videos?
Snoop Dogg is like complete rebrand into just lovable. Everyone in America knows who he is. and
Insane.
adores
Instead
him,
of like gangster rapper, it's
yeah, instead
crazy.
of gangster explicit rapper, maybe probably killed a guy. Like just
Yeah.
a total just 180. Love it.
For a brief amount of time, there was a map in the geology department at Baylor that had like pins with the location of the hometowns for all the grad students. And I definitely went and replaced the pins with all of the famous rappers from the 90s to see how long it would take people to notice. And
That's
nobody
awesome.
ever noticed. No one noticed.
Incredible.
So
What, 18 from Compton. What happened?
yeah.
All right, third pick for you, Etta.
Okay. My third pick is Paul Rudd.
Hell, yeah, God damn it.
Everybody does love Ant-Man. That's true.
Yeah.
If Tom Hanks is America's dad, Paul Rudd is America's uncle.
I cannot wait till Paul Rudd is like 85. I want to see what that guy
Yes.
looks like.
Well, he's going to look exactly the same. It's what happens when you're non-problematic.
Other than making an incest movie, Paul Rudd has barely missed. But he
I was
did make an
watching
incest movie.
Legally Blonde and I was like, this would be so much better if the like nice lawyer guy is Paul Rudd.
Oh,
Totally agree.
I
100%
briefly
agree.
considered trying to just draft the entire cast of Clueless, but there's really only like 2 people that I would want to hang with.
You can't,
And then-
you can't draft Stacey Dash. You can't draft her.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Off the table.
Nope. Nope.
Dax, next pick.
There's a lot of ways I can go here. A lot of good people.
First
still
of all,
on
no
the
one's taken
board.
Reese Witherspoon yet. You can take Reese
Well.
Witherspoon, Dex. We know that you love her.
Oh, okay. I was assuming we couldn't take her. Then
No,
yeah.
we always
No,
do
you can
that.
take
Come
her.
on.
You can take the people that we've been talking about.
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon. She's
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Like, I have her cookbook. It's autographed sitting behind me, and it's fucking dope. Never made a single recipe out of it, but everything she says about all these recipes, I was like, great, love it.
We didn't talk about Reese Witherspoon's career as much as I thought we would, but we have in subsequent podcasts talked about her career. She started acting when she was like 14, and her career has kind of had these ebbs and flows. But recently, she really turned into this like girl boss, like putting women directors and filmmakers and stuff on, and it's really become like I think what she was meant to do in Hollywood, honestly. And it's really crazy that now all of a sudden she just has this staying power where her film career, we all know the hits, but she's really had a few stinkers. But like, I mean, every actor does, unless you're like DiCaprio, you know what I mean? But her turning into this producer person with power to make shit happen is a really cool thing for her, actually.
And like, it's okay that she puts herself in like most of these projects that she does, because she puts herself in like smaller roles, and like a lot of the time she's playing like racist, unlikable white women, and it just works for her. She's way too good at it, uncomfortably so. Like watching her in Little Fires Everywhere felt a little bit like watching Leo and Django Unchained, where you're just like, ooh,
she is from the deep south.
you slide into this extremely easily. All the Nashville comes right out.
Ooh, that bayou come out of you, don't it? No, I don't. My next pick is I don't know how this hadn't. He's the most popular person on the planet, The Rock.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
Duh.
Yeah, I mean he's quite literally the most popular person on the planet. He's going to be our next president.
oh God.
Yeah. I mean, Tej has that take, which is hilarious, that he's going to be the next Republican nominee.
Don't get
I
me
mean,
started.
His Etta clinches her.
they could and have done much worse. So
I don't have faith
Fair.
that they can do. I don't have faith that they can do that well.
Hey, yeah, they don't. You don't think that they'd even nominate him?
There's no way.
No, he's too likable. Why would we?
He's too brown. There's no way the
Oh.
Republican Party would
Just
nominate.
wait.
A black guy.
You just wait.
yeah, The Rock becomes black immediately if he tries to
You
run
just
for
wait.
president.
You just wait.
He goes from being ambiguous to being
I
black
hope
as
you're
hell
wrong.
immediately.
It's gonna happen.
But all that to say, The Rock is the most popular person. He puts out shitty movies that make billions of dollars, and it's awesome.
He's one of the most followed people on Instagram. I
think he is. I think he's the most followed person on Instagram. He has a tequila company that's gonna sell for $8 billion eventually. Like
I think it's Ronaldo and then him.
Wait, he has more followers than Kim Kardashian?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, the way that the video
Kylie
that he
Jenner
posted
has more followers than Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Wow.
The way that we off that Kim shit, man. We're moving on. No,
we got the new one.
New one.
the version or the video that he posted the other day of him just driving up on the Hollywood bus tour and the people losing their fucking minds over just seeing The Rock was incredible. How could you like the fact that he's like apparently like a genuinely good person? Like, I don't know, like nobody's ever said anything bad about The Rock. Like people haven't really come like, why would you? He'd beat your fucking ass. But like nobody's ever really come out and said like they hate working with the guy. Like they all say he's like a mensch, like he's like an incredible person to work with. And like
the only person who hates him is Vin Diesel.
Yeah, exactly. It's because he's more popular than Vin Diesel. But like,
hate Vin Diesel.
Fuck Vin Diesel. But the Etta, we hate Vin Diesel on this podcast.
I'm
R.I.P.
okay with that.
This is an anti-Vin Diesel podcast.
But the like, I don't know how I wouldn't have an inflated ego if people were screaming when they saw me on the street. Like, I would be like if I drove up to somebody and they were like, "Oh my God," like I'd be like, "Yeah, absolutely." That is what you should do because I'm shit. I'm dope. I'm the shit. But he doesn't.
Welcome.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
Should always be greeted.
No, and he knows that he blessed those people's day by simply driving up. He knows that. But he's still like just gonna go to work and like make movies and shit. But like I'd be basking in that shit all day.
There's a reason I'm not famous, and it's because I'll be the worst person of all time.
Absolutely.
God knows that is not a burden I can bear.
Yeah, he was made to be famous. Cam, who we've had on this podcast before, had a great bit on our fighting with my family podcast that we did, where he said, "Do y'all really think that he wasn't ever going to be famous?" We're like, "What?" He goes, "He is 6'5". 225 pounds of 250 pounds of muscle, great looking, tan skin, black guy. Yeah,
WWE star.
Third generation WWE star. He was always going to be famous. And so he had a good bit about that on that podcast. But yeah, The Rock is my runaway with this.
Good pick. Good value too. Okay, I'm finishing this out. Wait,
you got two picks and it goes back around.
Oh, that's right. All right. My third pick, I'm taking Samuel Jackson, the greatest of all time. I love Samuel Jackson. And also, everyone loves Samuel Jackson. How can you not like him?
I think everybody loves working with that dude, too, which is as bombastic as I said that he is in our last
crazy
like
as he is.
They love working with him.
And then I'm getting great value as well. I'm picking Beyonce. Everybody loves Beyonce. And
is she likable? Or is she just great?
I think she's just great.
Who cares?
And I think she's
fair.
I think she understands herself enough to know that the scarcity is what makes her likable. Because if we saw her as much as we saw, say, The Rock, I don't think that we would like her as much. So she realizes I just need to disappear and pop up every now and again. Release.
She really isn't for somebody like she's the most famous person in the world, probably. Like,
yeah, but she really does go like she literally makes sure she's not always accessible.
That's crazy.
Probably mostly because she wants to raise kids. But I think there's something to be said about knowing, hey, I can't just be on TV every 10 seconds like some of these people can, because they would quickly realize that maybe I'm not who they think that I am. But the legend of Beyonce is much, much cooler than the actual Beyonce. So I'm just going to live on the legend and make myself scarce and live a regular life. I like that.
Whoever gave her that advice pretty early on in her career,
seriously,
she owes some money. Yeah, because you aren't the same as these normal people. Don't try to blend in with them. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You aren't the same. But the thing that gets me though, the lip sync battle. Have you ever seen that with Channing Tatum, where she just comes out of nowhere, all of a sudden, and the reaction from everyone, including Channing Tatum's wife, at the time, is astounding because it's just like, wait, she's not supposed to be here.
Beyonce is probably the best at being famous that we've ever seen. Like, especially in this era, like crazy, because she knows exactly when to turn it on and be like, yeah, I'm Beyonce, or when to be, I'm just like you. I'm a regular person. Like she can flip that. She
plays that shit immediately. She can flip that switch immediately.
Like, comes up money every single time. Like she doesn't make a misstep.
All right, my next pick. And this is subject to change, barring what happens in the 2022 gubernatorial Texas race. Matthew McConaughey. This is subject to change, and I maintain the right to change my pick.
They're going to use your audio on a campaign ad now. Congratulations, Roy.
I maintain the right to change my pick to Woody Harrelson if something goes awry in the 2022 Texas gubernatorial race. I maintain the right to change it to Woody Harrelson. But McConaughey has been cool as shit for 30 years. It's just, I want to smoke weed with that guy so bad. Like it just, I mean, the all right thing, the JK living, he's just cool, man. He's just cool. Like, that's all I will say about that. All right.
It's Dex.
Catching up here on the live tweets. My internet's very bad right now. Boom. All right. So.
Oh, I didn't know you were tweeting. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to go with an athlete. And, some people might think they disagree with me, but when you really think about it, no, you don't. It's LeBron James. LeBron James is just an incredible famous athlete. Like, you cannot possibly be the best at, like, the best person in your sport and play it any better than LeBron James has since he was like 18, like 17 years old. Dude hasn't really made any missteps other than, some people were mad at the decision, but everyone kind of came back around on that. And it's just like, that's just how sports works now, because LeBron James did it and he went through that. So you don't have to go through that. But LeBron James is out here like building schools and giving back to the community and, reading the intro to books. Just like
reading the forward of books and then putting it down.
Forward of books and putting it out. Everybody loves making fun of LeBron James because it's very easy, because he's just a likable dweeb who's just, probably the best basketball player definitely people my age have ever seen. So yeah, LeBron James. I'm sorry.
I think people like want to hate him because of like the decision which he made when literally he was like 24 years old.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But also I can't hate that he's corny as shit. Like he's corny. You can't, how is he that corny and he's the best basketball player ever?
I reserve the right to hate any Los Angeles Laker ever at any time in history.
That's fair.
I reserve the right.
I mean, the taco too, like he's just a dad. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. Like he likes being a dad. Yeah, he likes being a dad. He likes like making money and playing basketball. But it is like he's
hopping in TikTok dances with his daughter. Like,
yeah. He has been the best at being like the best athlete at being famous. Like Michael Jordan would have folded like a lawn chair in the social media area, and I maintain that. Like Michael Jordan wasn't famous until he's like 22. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. LeBron James has been famous since he was 16. Get the fuck out of my face. It's crazy. I would have been dead. So yeah. Anyway,
immediately.
And a final pick.
Final pick. I'm actually super excited about this because I did not think this pick would still be around, and it's perfect to close out this movie. So with the final pick in this draft, I am taking Dolly Parton.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
Oh my God, what a steal. What a steal.
How did I blank on Dolly fucking Parton?
That's a good one.
Good
Like-
Lord.
It's like, there's like that meme going around right now that's like, my pronouns are she because I will never be her.
Right.
Yeah. I never will.
You
Try
took
as hard as I want, but
you took a great like 16th pick with your first pick and a great first pick with your 16th pick.
That's incredible. Like when I found out that Dolly Parton was like, yeah, I'm going to fund this vaccine research. Like what? And then you go and you look and she's just been doing it for decades. Like she's just been backing science and like shit. You're like, Dolly Parton? Like what?
she gives books to every child born in Tennessee. Like,
What?
Wait, what?
she gives a book to every child born in Tennessee so that
That's actually
no
incredible.
child will grow up not having some book in their life.
I wonder if
Holy
Reese
hell.
Witherspoon got a book. I wonder if Reese Witherspoon got a book and that inspired her.
She
to
was
be
born.
who
She
became.
was born in Louisiana.
Sad.
Oh wait. Yeah, that makes sense. That's insane.
Yep.
Oh wait, we have to ask Etta her movie
Oh,
hot take before.
Okay, yeah. So what a great pick, man. Oh my God, Dolly Parton.
I'm stunned that we let that happen. Like,
That's a really good pick.
Some other ones, Hugh Jackman. We made fun of Steve Buscemi, but Steve Buscemi was literally like a firefighter on 9/11. Like he
Yeah.
incredible guy, actually, for all intents and purposes.
another wholesome mom pick, Jessica Alba. Great. Love her.
You don't like the
This doesn't sound like a wholesome pick at all.
that what do you mean by that?
What do I mean
Yeah,
by
me-
she's wholesome? Or are you asking Teach?
No, I'm asking you, Dex. What do you with that?
Yeah, why is
I'm-
Jessica Alba so likable? I've never thought about her this way.
I mean, if you follow her on Instagram or TikTok these days, she's just like either
Yeah,
with
she
her
is. She is
kids,
just a mom.
she's either with her kids, just like dancing around doing TikTok dances, or she's like talking about her like natural like medicine or not medicine makeup line.
Natural medicine line. That'd be
definitely
no.
not natural medicine. That would not be wholesome. Like natural, like makeup line and hair care and all this other shit. Just like being a generally dweeby, goofy mom who just happens to be famous because she's hot.
Apparently, like George Clooney, for being a billionaire, is just like a really cool dude to hang out with.
I can see that.
Yeah, so that's interesting to me. Anyway, Etta, we gotta before we wrap, we do this thing, or we started doing this thing. We need your one take because it's a one take pod. We need your one take on your hottest movie, TV show, actor, actress, director, writer, film industry take. What is your hottest take about any of that category? Oh, she's panicking.
I'm so nervous. I'm
Okay,
so
wait.
nervous.
Hottest in terms of like controversial. Is that what we're saying?
Sure.
Yes.
She'll take.
What are your friends? What does your husband push back on the most when you say this thing about movies or actors or actresses or TV shows?
What is most likely to make one of us react and hate you for being on this podcast?
Ooh.
We've heard some doozies. It's going to be hard to top some of the shit that we've heard.
What is the worst one we've heard so far?
Someone, when Mo did like Tom Cruise was way up there.
Oh,
Marcus not liking Mad Max is way, way up there. How can you not like that film? And then somebody slander Beyonce on this podcast.
Yeah,
They
Paul
slandered
Cat-
Beyonce and Meryl Streep. in the
We
same
almost,
day.
we
Paul
almost
Catalina.
we almost got canceled by Paul. Paul almost ruined this podcast.
I don't really like movies and TV shows.
Okay, this is the worst one that we've got. Okay, this is the worst one that we've got. This is worse than all the other ones. This is the worst one that we've got.
I just don't like movies.
We just have a new record for the worst take on this podcast. Is actually movies are bad.
I should caveat that
Oh, shit.
for me, movies and TV shows are not relaxing. And so I have to be in a mood to watch them. And that mood does not strike super often. So like people sitting down and binging a TV show.
Oh, all day.
I don't understand. Like I
That's
literally cannot.
So if it's not Legally Blonde, Amelie, or The Princess Bride, you're just like
even those. No, even those, I have to be in a mood to watch them. I can binge sports. I literally watched football from College game day until 10 p.m. on Saturday. I can't do that.
What about movies about football?
Trash. No,
I gotta no. They're not even trash. Like I like them when I'm in the mood for them, but I have to be in the mood for them, and I don't.
Something about like making it movies and TV shows.
I think it's probably an ADHD thing.
I prefer real life drama that's happening in front of me. Let's start living. Actually,
yeah.
That's
anyway,
incredible.
So you're welcome for having the worst take.
Not the worst, but that is it's like so non-specific. It's just like I just don't like these things. Like
everything your podcast is built on, it's trash.
I don't like it. Yeah, it's everything your podcast has done for 83 episodes is wrong and bad. So it's just, oh my god, that's so fucking funny. That's so funny. I didn't expect that at all. That's
not at all.
That's so funny.
I mean, if like given some prep time, I probably have like more controversial. I don't know. This one's pretty controversial. Who knows?
That's pretty controversial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movies are wrong and bad. It's just, oh my god, that's so fucking funny.
You're
all movies, all TV shows.
All right. that has been a awesome One Take podcast. You can find us at One Take Pod on Twitter, One Take Podcast on Apple, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcast. Etta, where can they find you and Amy and what y'all are doing?
I am at Bayloretta, BAYLORETTA. Yep. And Amy is at Amy Graham Paget, I think, all spelled out. And we are at Sour Grapes Pod on Twitter, and we drink wine and get tipsy and make fun of sports fans on social media.
Great.
Wait, holy shit, I have to listen to this podcast. That sounds incredible.
That's
what we
Sour grapes wine, I get
full
this.
disclosure. We make fun of some Longhorns, but we make fun of everybody.
You know what? Never mind. Maybe
Baylor.
This podcast is not for me.
We also make fun of Baylor, so you know.
Yeah, you can find them Sour Grapes podcast. It is well worth the listen. And we are coming back. We are coming back next week. So we should have a new episode out.
Who are you making fun of next week?
Well, everybody. We just make fun of everyone.
Whatever happens on the message boards.
We'll probably make fun of USC because yet again, they're without a coach. We'll probably make fun of Aggies because why wouldn't you?
I'm in.
Yeah. So we'll be back next Wednesday. We decided it was mean to do it this week and make fun of Kansas because bless their hearts.
Bless their hearts.
Kansas allowed Baylor to score a fullback touchdown. They need to burn that program to the ground.
Please make fun of all the Iowa State fans after Baylor beats them. I bet a lot of money
absolutely.
on Baylor this weekend. Please, Baylor, don't ruin my life.
Call me in so that I can make fun of Iowa State.
Send us all your saltiest tweets and we will read them online.
I fucking hate Iowa State. I can't even really explain why. There's something about Iowa State's entire get down just disgusts me. I just hate them. Fuck Iowa State.
It's not actually, he's not making that up. Go read some former articles, but it's not hyperbole at all. Yeah, so you can find us at One Take Podcast. Dex, what are we doing?
Hashtag support Florence Pugh, the coldest signature move in the game. Always watch for the frown, the Florence Pugh frown. Once you see that, you just know she's about to put up like 30 and 10 in whatever movie she's in at that moment. It's very important.
About to drop some heat up there with the Denzel walk and the Leonardo DiCaprio toast.
Yeah. one of the best signature moves in the game right now. Stay on the lookout. Hashtag Sport for Lunch Beat.
Support for it. So you can find all of that stuff also at apollohou.com. You can go to apollohou.com/store. Use the promo code OneTakePod to get 10% off any Houston merch. Also, our own branded merch. You can buy a One Take Podcast shirt at a buy a One Take Podcast shirt. You can buy a One Take Podcast shirt. You can get 10% off. It's very comfy.
Home field.
No.
Oh man, home field is so good. Home field, you need to
Home field sponsor the pod.
Sponsor the
Home field,
pod.
you need to sponsor this pod so that we can tell the world about how amazing your shirts are.
Shout out to Home Field. Shout out to Mountain Dew. Sponsor the pod.
I know you're listening.
Applebee's sponsor the pod.
I've
And
never
we
had
fancy
no-
like Applebee's on a date night at the barbershop. All right, we're out. All right. Oh my God.
That was a good time.